Welcome to Davita's Stampin' Spot. It is Thursday and I have a project ready for you. It's actually one I shared at the June crop, and I think maybe I have my own design. Somebody may correct me and say, oh no, I've seen that somewhere else. But I will say I did not look at anybody else's idea, and I started this idea actually because I made a mistake. Let me swing the camera around and well, it was hooked up and it says it doesn't want to be hooked up. Let's try again. You know how technology is. I tested it twice. It worked just fine, and now it doesn't want to work. So this idea, I was working on my idea and scoring, and I messed up on the scoring. And then I thought, well, hey, let's see if this might be a cool card. All right, so let me tell you about the pieces. This is a 1/2 inch by 4, and you're going to need 8 of them. Okay. And then this one is 3.5 by 4. Here's my base. It's 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 1/2, 1 1/4, 2, and 2 3/4 from both ends. All right. Then I'm using the dies from the Pooh Bear collection, Silly Old Bear. So I'm using this greeting. It says it never hurts to look up. And even if you're not a Pooh Bear person, you need to get these dies. Look at these beautiful dies and how they layer together. There's 18 in the set. You've got some acorns that you can add, some leaves, and then look how these layer. I'm using this one here. Yeah, the two right here, I believe, are the ones I'm using today. I've used them so many times I had to go back and look at my pieces. So these 3 pieces all came out of this. And so here, because my greeting was so big, I needed to use the larger one, but I could have used the nested one and had, if my greeting was a little smaller. So I'm using the Silly Old Bear. This one's Sweet Words and Labels dies, and this one's Sweet Words and Labels. And then the Silly Old Bear is the Pooh Bear and Piglet and all the characters. I'm also using Faith and Collection, Let Your Faith Be Bigger Than Your Fears. And last but not least, and this I believe is still on the last chance, I wanted this little flower image here, which I'm sure if you reproduce this idea, you're going to have some flowers. All right, so I went ahead and I did my 2 greetings ahead of time. Wasn't thinking, actually, I should have waited, but I wanted to show you on my flower image. I went from the center and I went out this direction, and then I turned it around. I'm using Misty Moonlight like that for my flowers. So you can see I kind of had my lines even down here at the bottom joined together. We use this at the crop, and somebody must have really dunked it in some blue ink because the whole thing is blue. But you know what? Doesn't hurt a thing. All right, I'm going to put these 2 labels together, and I grabbed a glue without making sure it was ready to go. So let's see if I can get some glue out of it. I've been cleaning in my office, and I found 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 partial or 12 bottles, and we'll see if any of them have glue in them. This one does. Cleaning up from classes and stuff, and I guess I had a bunch of glue bottles out. All right. Now let's go back to the base. I'm going to close this up so I don't get ink where I don't want it. All right, this piece here is going to be glued in the middle, but we're going to do it after we get all of our pieces put together. So I did a 1/2 inch for the first score line because I need to glue these first, because you want it to fold over nicely and not have extra bulk. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is grab the right glue bottle to start with, and we're going to add these 1/2-inch strips to the edges here. I've heard this called a tube, I've heard it called a tunnel, and usually it's just on one side. But like I said, I made a mistake and ended up doing it on both sides. Sometimes, your mistakes are come out to be the best ideas. So we'll see what you guys think of my idea. And you know what? I told you wrong. You only need 6 because the 4th side is the back of the card, and you don't need to have a strip there. So you only need 6. So you skip the first one on the end because it's going to be glued underneath. And then you're going to do the next 3 sections. So we had the first waterside retreat class last night, and the ladies loved the projects. It was so fun to watch them take them. One person turned one into a beautiful anniversary card for her son and his wife, and the cards turned out really well. You should have seen the different projects, and I had so many samples that we're actually doing 2 classes, so they get 12 different card designs. So if you're interested in it, let me know. We can do a virtual class, or I can do another in person. All right, get those extra ones out of the way. Now, we're going to put adhesive on the 1/2-inch section here, and we're going to fold this in half. We're going to bring that around. And if you fold this just like that, it's going to put that spot so that it's a nice square. See how that made it nice and square? So I'll show you again. We're going to put adhesive here. Now we're going to fold this in half. Burnish it well. And there's your 2 sides like that. All right. Then this one's deceptive. You actually are going to do it tall. And you maybe could have made this like 3 3/4, but because you're going to put these on here, you don't really see it. So I didn't see a need to put any more designer series paper in there. This is that designer series paper. It starts with KN something, and I can never say it. So I apologize. I did not tell you the name, but that's what this paper is. And last time I looked, which was yesterday, it is still one of them that's available. All right, so there, see how that stands up? This is perfect for someone that you want to give them a card that they can display because it stands up. The nice thing is you've got all this space on the back that you can write. And I think this is really an encouraging card, especially for someone maybe that's going through some health challenges or something, because it's an encouraging them. Oops, I got some extra gunk in there. I'm using tear tape because you want these to stay glued down nicely. Maybe I made that one too wide. All right. This one is going to go up here at the top. I'm going to place it like that. And this one's going to go on the bottom. Just like that. Nice and easy, but isn't that a cool card? Like I said, I have not seen, I didn't use anybody's idea. So I don't know if there's others that are out there like this one or not. You'll have to let me know in the comments. If you would like the written instructions for this card, I do have them typed up with pictures. Send me a $30 order and you can have the instructions for free. I did have someone ask about buying PDFs. I am checking into that. So if you're interested in that, watch for more details on it. There you go. There's my project for today. I hope you like it, and we'll see you next week.